Hi guys, Jared here, and today we're going to talk about game music. This is actually a video I've been meaning to do for a little while now. I'm not sure if you know this or not, but Ahmed on the site, he is a ridiculously big music fan, especially for gaming music. He loves his RPG soundtracks and just music in general. So this one's sort of dedicated to him because he's such a big fan of gaming music. Now, I'm going to talk just about a few games here, and the music you hear in the background of this video is going to be all tracks or samples from the games that I'm going to talk about. Now, I've got two I've already mentioned in video reviews that I've done, actually just recently, based on when when this video was posted. Hopefully this will coincide with the PC Engine games that I have reviewed, so you'll actually have a little bit of background on what I'm talking about. So there's only going to be one game that I'm going to mention that I haven't already discussed or reviewed or whatever. I've got one honorable mention that I want to just mention right now, which is Ecco the Dolphin. I'm going to be doing a review of this probably in the coming week or so. I most likely won't have this review up by the time you check this video up because I haven't even recorded the footage yet. What's really unique with this one is that they took the Mega Drive or the Genesis soundtrack and they just completely redid it for the Sega CD version of Ecco the Dolphin. Now, this was something that Sega did a lot back in the day, and so did a lot of other companies. They would take their previously released games, they would slap it on CD and then go, we've got all this space on the disc, what else can we do? So the choices were kind of limited. You were either going to slap a whole bunch of FMV video on here, or they were going to digitize the soundtrack and make it in CD quality sound. And that's exactly what they did in here. So the soundtrack was completely redone and it's absolutely spectacular. Now if I can capture a track, it will be playing right behind me right here in this video. You'll hear it. But if you don't hear any sound, well, that means I couldn't rip the track from the game. But I'm sure it's not going to be a problem whatsoever. Alright, so now I'm going to mention the two that I have discussed previously. This was one that was given to me. This is not my original 3-in-1 Turbo Duo disc that I have. That's actually in storage. But this is the one that was donated to us. And specifically I want to talk about Gate of Thunder. That is one of my favorite shooter soundtracks, and probably one of my favorite soundtracks, period, of all time. It's absolutely amazing. It's really like hard rock, in your face, and being a packing game with the Turbo Duo, I had never experienced anything like this before, because I actually had my Turbo Duo prior, if I'm not mistaken, prior to my Sega CD. So for me, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty damn sure that this was when I really started getting into CDs for video games, and it was just amazing. The soundtrack was way beyond anything I had heard before from any game. I just never experienced anything like Gate of Thunder before, and even to this very day, it's just a breathtaking soundtrack. That maybe breathtaking isn't such a good word, more like pulse-pounding soundtrack that really, it was way beyond anything I had heard before. I mean, I had my Genesis, I had my Super Nintendo, and both were great. I mean, they had some really kick-ass soundtracks, but nothing like Gate of Thunder. Gate of Thunder was just out of this world, and to this day, I still have a couple of tracks actually on my computer and just ready to listen to at a moment's notice because they're just absolutely fantastic. Another PC Engine game that I recently reviewed was Rondo of Blood. Now, Rondo of Blood, this takes everything that I loved about Gate of Thunder and just shoots it into the stratosphere, because this was based on a series that I loved on the NES and on the Super NES, and it was like, oh, okay, you know, we're gonna have a follow-up to Super Castlevania 4. Well, I never imagined what this was gonna sound like. This was just incredible. I mean, Konami was known for their excellent soundtracks. I mean, we all agree, right? Ever since the NES, like this was really good. The way they were able to just have their audio mixes were incredible. And what Rondo did, what this game did by bringing it to basically CD quality music with all the synthesizers and everything, it was unbelievable. Vampire Killer, Bloody Tears, these were amazing tracks that just sounded way better than anything I could ever imagine. And when I went from this back to the Super Nintendo or the Sega Genesis, it was just like night and day different in terms of the quality of the soundtrack. The SNES still had a really great audio chip, but nothing that could compare to CD quality sound like this, at least in my opinion. I know some of you guys will prefer some of the arrangements and some of the other Castlevania games that were released on the SNES, but to me, nothing beats this. This was basically as good as it got. Even Symphony of the Night, while I really enjoy that soundtrack, I still say that this is a better soundtrack overall. So those are two games. I purposely didn't want to tackle RPGs, well, 2 games plus my honorable mention, because I wanted to do something different. I mean, I know Ahmed's going to come in here and he's going to just wreck face with all the RPGs he's going to mention, and I could mention Dragon Quest, I could mention so many others, but the whole point is I want you guys to mention games that you really love, and I'll just piggyback on that in the comments, and we can get a really good, deep conversation going. So, one more game that I wanted to talk about, and it's a game that was on the Mega Drive or the Genesis, and that might surprise you because the Sega Genesis, for all intended purposes, is not known for its soundtracks. If anything, that's the one thing that people usually criticize. Oh, it's very tinny, oh, there's this and that, blah, 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 blah. Well, there's one game on the Sega Genesis / Mega Drive that floored me when I first played it. Now, unfortunately, I do believe I have the original cart somewhere, if you could see all these boxes, but I know I have 2 and 3, but I particularly want to talk about the first one, and so since I'm going to record the footage from this is the, if you don't know what this came with the Sega CD, it's the Arcade Classics thingy, whatever. I want to talk about this one right there, Streets of Rage. Wow, was that an incredible soundtrack that way better than almost every other game I heard on the Mega Drive. And I don't believe it was reworked on the Sega CD, so I think it's the legitimate thing. I don't even know, well, I don't think it was, they did anything fancy to it. But anyways, it's besides the point. The tracks you're hearing here are from the Genesis version, and this was just way beyond anything that I had heard come out of the Mega Drive. The system just was not, well, I wasn't used to the system having this kind of audio soundtrack, this kind of quality. I was more used to the Super Nintendo or even the Turbo Duo and the Sega CD after, having some really good soundtracks, but the actual Genesis itself, for having this type of music, was just way beyond anything that I could imagine at the time. And I've only repeated that about a dozen times now, so I'm going to stop. Alright, so those are the games I just really want to touch base on. Was the Streets of Rage, was Rondo of Blood, and Gate of Thunder, plus my little honorable mention of Ecco the Dolphin, the Sega CD version. But now what about you guys? I know there are literally dozens and dozens, probably even hundreds of other incredible soundtracks that you're going to mention and you go, oh yeah, that's right, that was such a classic. So let's get a good conversation going, and by all means, leave a comment. Let me know what are some of your favorite video game soundtracks of all time. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll be back soon with more videos.